and welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. And today I'm still here at Killowen, and I'm on the outside of Killowen, because not all the magic is happening inside the distillery, but also on the outside. On the outside we do have the Botanicals growing, and two of them for their gin are actually growing outside directly here, and that is the rosemary, which is very distinctive flavor, very Mediterranean usually. And then you have the heather, which is then very well known by the whiskey enthusiasts because it grows all over Scotland and all over Ireland as well. So they try to source a lot of botanicals locally. They go out, they try to collect some blackberries and some other stuff that grows here in the mountains. They also do have to get in some others that they fail to grow there, or they just know that they can't grow it here, so some of it must be imported for their gin. And let's get inside and see how that gin is actually made. The distillery does not do any maceration. They actually do it all in the vapor phase. So what they do have is a thumper keg. You heat the natural grain spirit until it rises as a vapor, and you put a very tall table in here, put the thumper keg on. You connect the thumper keg with the top of the still, so you get the alcoholic vapor. And in the thumper keg, the intake brings it down to the very bottom. And in the thumper keg, everything is in a vapor phase. So the vapor rises from the bottom through a sieve where the botanicals lie, and touches the botanicals, takes the flavor from the botanicals, and comes out through the other side, and the other side is connected to the condenser, the warm top, and that is then finished. So that's where it comes from. The thumper, because the still is not that continuous, it can go into a little bit of pressure hypes, and that's where it goes up thump, 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 thump. So that's why the name thumper comes from, and basically because it makes thumping noises. So that is pretty much the basic idea, and different recipes of their gins have different botanicals in them, and let's try them now. So I'm here with Patrick Glaser again.
Hi.
So thank you very much again.
You're very welcome.
For actually showing us around. It was lovely, and so now we're talking about gin, and I love that the fact that you do gin around here as well.
Absolutely.
So what are we having today?
So yes, we love gin as much as we love whiskey, not quite as much though. But what we're having today is we're going to try two gins that we make here. So the first one is native botanical gin, and then we're going to go to a bit of a flavoured gin, and that is blackberry, rosemary, and orange gin, just to add a bit of zest to it.
Okay, I'm really excited. So you actually got the copper pot still on the back?
Absolutely. So how we do it here is very similar to how we distill whiskey. So we put it into one of our copper pot stills, and then we will run that through a thumper keg.
Oh yeah, we've seen that, and I love it because I think I've seen a thumper once in my distilling visiting career.
Yeah.
So 300 distilleries and one thumper. Now I have a second thumper.
You have two thumper kegs to add to this. So so they're a bit unique in terms of kind of distilling.
Not many use them because I don't know why you would use them in a whiskey distillation theme.
Yeah.
I think the Americans used them back in the days, but why? I don't know.
Well, we don't, certainly not for whiskey, but for gin, we were like, absolutely, let's get a thumper keg involved. So.
Yeah, but it's kind of like an aromatic cage, but it's a thumper cage,
Yeah, so how it basically works with ourselves is we will have the ethanol vapor will go down into the bottom of our thumper keg, and then we will layer out botanicals midway between, and it'll go through the botanicals, and it'll soak up all that really good flavour.
And here you have the still in there, and you also, what do you call it, have all the botanicals on the back.
Yes.
So you're also transparent like the...
Absolutely. Bar and Tool whiskey. Yeah. So it's the same idea with our gin as is with our whiskey. We want to tell the consumer exactly what it is they're getting, where they get it from, and how we do it. We really want to portray the fact that we are showing you what exactly we do, because you see a lot of distilleries that don't really necessarily do that, but we do.
Yeah, they have secrets.
Nasty secrets. No, but we tell exactly. We'll list exactly the botanicals we have.
I mean, I was driving past here and then came back when I was finding the place, and I was like going into it. Like, oh, nobody there. Like, I can find some secrets, but apparently you don't need to find some secrets.
No. We just like to tuck ourselves out of the way.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's get
let's try into it. So the first one is native botanical. So this is a native botanical gin. Essentially, the likes of the elderberries and the juniper and all, we try to source as much as we can locally. Obviously, we do have to bring some things in because the climate in Ireland unfortunately doesn't allow for many things to grow.
Lemon trees that I've seen here.
Exactly, yeah. So what we're drinking now, it is of course
grapefruits you have in it. Lemon and
grapefruit. Yeah, exactly. So you'll get straight away on those lovely zesty. Once again, there's a bit of pepper, a bit of spice that comes through because obviously we still have the copper pot distillation.
I find it very bloomy and very fruity.
Very floral.
Floral.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
it's exactly kind of what we're looking to do with this. So this is, in terms of gin, in terms of having it with a mixer, it is perfect for a lovely summer's day because you bring out that lovely floral, zesty flavour, and then you get a lovely botanical hit at the back. The juniper will introduce itself, and then it'll get out of the way very quickly, and the rest of those botanicals will come through.
Yeah, that would be really a lovely summer's day gin for your 2 weeks of summer.
For the 2 weeks of summer. 2 weeks is being really generous. 2 days of summer.
Yeah.
But it's lovely. It's a really refreshing drink. And how we make it, and you still get that lovely bit of spice from the copper as well.
Yeah, like when you get more into it, when you're through all these flowers and botanicals, and then you get a bit of that spiciness coming through.
Spiciness still comes through, and it actually adds a different layer to it because there's not many gins that you'd have where you get this lovely peppery spice and then all the floral hit, whereas this I find that you really do get something like that.
Okay,
Sláinte.
Very easy.
Very, very easy. It's not very often you can drink a gin neat. Sometimes it could be really harsh. Not very often. Most people drink it.
Yeah.
But very easy, very floral. You get that juniper, but as I said, it doesn't dominate. It gets out of the way, and then you get that lovely zestiness from everything else.
A little bit of that your distillery character, like a bit of spiciness, but a lot less than in the whiskey.
Absolutely, yeah. It doesn't carry through as much in the whiskey. We don't necessarily want that to be happening, you see, because we want obviously the likes of the juniper to be coming through it.
But I also do like is you do have the angelica root and licorice that is really creamy or like candy, a little bit candy-like in there as well.
Very, very sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, it is sweet, and you have the juniper and all these flowers and bloomies and a little bit of a citrus note going on. Yeah, it's a lovely summer's gin.
It's a lovely summer's gin, and what I like about that one especially is that I'm not a massive coriander fan. But I tend to get just a lovely hum of the coriander in the background as well. I think that's a wonderful thing to taste. Yeah.
I'm just done my botanicals scene right in front of the distillery.
Yeah.
So when you do a gin, like you just take a scissor and go outside, or what do you do?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. we try and grow as many of the botanicals as we can. So at the front of the distillery, for example, as you've seen, we have beds of rosemary. So if we're doing the second one you're going to taste has rosemary in it, we will go out and we will snip some rosemary. Yeah.
Is it enough? Is that growing enough for you?
It's growing. Rosemary, if you just give it a bit of water and somewhere to grow, it'll vibrantly grow. Yeah. So we
the thing is, it will vibrantly grow unless you have very cold winters. But you don't.
We never have cold winters here, no. But no, it grows all year round.
Yeah, so I mean, you have they're cold as in you have bad weather and it's cold for you, but I think the plants really don't like it below zero.
No. Yeah. And we tend to get a lot of rain.
I had a rosemary who died. But it's just colder with me.
Yeah, that's how it's cold. Yeah. But yeah, so we will use the botanicals that are beside us. When blackberries are in season, for example, we will go pick blackberries. We try to bring everything as close to the distillery as possible, you know.
So one day you're distilling and shoveling and then all that. And then the next day you just take your basket and go into the
like Little Red Riding Hood. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love that. I love that idea. So the next one is with a lot of the ones growing in front, right?
Yeah. So this is a blackberry, rosemary, and orange.
Yeah, the rosemary is just fruit,
and the rosemary is just at the front.
We've seen some blackberries.
Yeah, you'll see blackberry. They're coming in the season now. Yeah, you'll see them.
I mean, we couldn't pick them because of too early, but
I'll be out there later picking them. But this is a really, really fruity, vibrant gin. This is perfect for a little mix or even just a little bit of ice. It is incredibly the blackberry that you get straight off the nose is incredible, and then you'll finish with you'll get that lovely orange zest that comes through. And then just a hint of the rosemary.
Nice.
It's a really lovely combination of three vibrant flavors.
What does that remind me of? I think that reminds me of some drink I had where they put like, you know, when you have a gin, and you put a rosemary twig,
or like an actual twig in it, like a cocktail.
Yeah, like
it's
a cocktail.
Yeah.
When you use a rosemary twig in a cocktail,
perfect. Yeah,
this
is what it is. And it works really, really well with cocktails as well.
Yeah, the blackberry is just the blackberry is minus this acidity.
Yes, yeah. You don't get that harshness from it, do you?
Yeah, like when you have a blackberry and you pick it just too early, it's just
it's not right. You spit it out. You have to, this has that lovely sweetness.
Yeah.
Not a sharpness to the blackberry, because blackberry can be really sharp sometimes.
But that's a really good combination with the immersed with a hint of local honey. Oh, okay.
So you'll get the sweetness of the honey once you kind of like drink it.
Well, is it just the remembrance of honey, like the flavor, or is it really honey inside?
So we try and take, if we can get our hands on honey, we will take it. But if not, an essence of honey is what we'll use. Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll put that in with the other botanicals.
Well, you dip them and put them in the thumper, or
with actual like a honey thing. So we will get. If we can get the essence of honey, we'll use that more in our botanicals. But using actual honey,
is not
because
possible.
it's obviously very not incredible. Yeah.
I mean, with the direct firing, a lot of cleaning is already involved.
The last thing I want is sticky honey, everywhere. Because the cleaning the stills out is painful enough as it is, because we do it all by hand. We brush them out.
Yeah, I mean, you would be a master of cleaning now.
I'm sick of cleaning at this point. Yeah.
Okay, so
sláinte. I love it. I absolutely love that gin. I think that is phenomenal.
Your gins are so round and easy, and this one is
good.
so. It has what does it remind me of? Very smooth orange.
Mm-hmm. The orange zest really comes through, doesn't it? At the end, it's not. You don't get that on the nose that much, but I kind of.
It feels like a bit of a rose touch to it. Just like a velvet glove, rosy. It's incredible. So are you allowed to do it like below 40? No, it's 40.
So it's 40. So it's 40. So we don't take it anything below 40, because anything less than that we don't consider it to be proper gin. We like 40 is the absolute base of what we would go to.
I think legally it's 37.
37. We will stick at 40.
40. Yeah. But it's so smooth.
So smooth. I mean, kind of get, like a velvet bit of chocolate, like a strawberry, blackberry bit of chocolate that you get sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what I get from that.
I'm not quite sure, because the chocolate has a taste, but the creaminess, the velvetiness.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was about to say that with, when we have that chocolate orange.
Yeah.
There is that treat, but it's way too sweet for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's just there's a lovely smoothness to it, and
this is a bit dangerous. If you'd give me that in a tasting, I would say yeah.
I hope you're driving me home instead of
25%.
But for somebody, as I said, you can drink that neat. Mm-hmm. I'm not somebody who would drink a gin neat, but I could add an ice cube to that, and I'd be a very happy man to sit and sip that.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
One ice cube in there. Hopefully, it doesn't kill all the flavors, but
absolutely.
I would say this is probably, you have just a smidge of juniper in there.
Yes,
you feel it, but not like a prickling on your tongue, classic London dry. And
a lot of gins are kind of dominated by juniper, obviously, because it is the dominant thing. But this just very nicely hits you, and then it'll get out of the way. It'll let the rest of the flavours.
Yeah, definitely a new Western dry.
Yeah,
but it is dry, right? Well, it doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
But you don't add anything here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But it's definitely one of my favourites to sit over on a nice day, the rare days that we get, and sip over a nice wee gin. But I think it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, as I said, we try and get all the botanicals as locally sourced as we can. The rosemary, we literally pick it from out the front door.
So yeah, lovely. This is definitely my favorite. This is going way up in my gin list.
Nice, very good. We'll have to give you one to take home.
So yeah, that was really lovely, and thank you for a second time for showing us around and for the interview.
Appreciate you coming along. Thank you so much.
And yeah, thank you very much for watching. And if you want to have a try at these whiskies, then go to Whisky.com and Whisky.de. They are listed there. And thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.